everybody. Welcome to another episode of Limited Resources. This episode number 609. My name is Marshall. I'm one of your Limited Resources, and joining me on the line all the way from Denver, Colorado, it's Luis Scott-Vargas. Luis, wake up, buddy. What's going on over there?
I'm good. You know, we made the kind of wise decision to film right after eating lunch, but
I just ate like a pound of spaghetti, man.
I think it's going to go great. I do have something pretty sweet to mention. I announced on Twitter just a couple days ago that I actually am moving to a new job, or at least, you know, one of the things I do. I'm now going to be joining the Storybook Brawl team. So that's Matt Nass and Raptor and Matt Place and their squad to make Storybook Brawl. That's the game that, well, I've been playing a ton of. These things are somewhat related.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've been streaming it a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoy the game. I think the game is awesome. And I'm going to be joining as the VP of marketing. So basically going to kind of help them promote and market the game, though I will be doing some design work as well, which is sweet because I love working with those guys. You know, when I first got into the game design industry, my boss at Direwolf was Matt Place, same guy. So I've learned a ton from him. He's very, very good. And of course, working with Raptor and Matt Nass is also going to be a treat. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, you probably will have to get used to me talking about Storybook Brawl. I do want to note that this isn't going to be in lieu of Magic content. I'm not, you know, going to be dropping constructed resources. And I'm going to be pretty happy moving forward, kind of integrating this into the things I'm currently doing.
As a Magic player, should I be interested in Storybook Brawl?
I think so. There are a ton of Magic players who are already playing it and enjoying it. If you haven't heard of it, it's an auto battler. So it's kind of like exactly what I'm going to do today. You draft your deck and then you let someone else play it out. In this case, the computer kind of the auto part comes from it battles for you. So it's all the fun of the drafting part, and then you kind of see how good your deck is by comparing it to other people. So it's a really sweet genre. I really like Hearthstone Battlegrounds, for example, and Storybook Brawl I think is the best executed version of this genre that I've ever played.
Okay. So all the draft, none of the combat math. I could probably get used to that. Maybe I'll try out that game one day, Luis. You'll have to keep working on me for it. It's not Magic, so it's a tough sell.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can hook you too.
That's right. All right. Well, this week on the show, we're doing one of our favorite versions of our episodes, which is we're going to be doing our draft walkthroughs for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. That's right. We're going to be doing not one, but two drafts with you here together. And we're going to walk you through our thought processes as we try to come up with a couple of sweet builds. And, you know, the point of these, of course, is an expanded crack-a-pack, if you will, where instead of just looking at a pack one, pick one scenario, you get to see how we navigate picks going forward. And it's also interesting because you'll get to hear both of our sides of what we think we should pick and kind of how that goes as well. And hopefully that's informational for you. If you want to watch us do this, the video version is always up on the YouTube channel, and this one will be there too. And you can actually watch along if it's easier. I do my best to try to keep naming the cards that are in contention for each pack, and then the cards that we have in our deck that are relevant to the picks, and then recap it, of course, after every pack and at the end of it as well. So that if you're audio only, which, you know, the majority of our audience is by a lot, then you will also be up to speed. So that's what we're going to be doing on the show this week. Before we get into that, let's mention our sponsor, Channel Fireball. You still work there, right, Luis?
I certainly do.
Okay. ChannelFireball.com, place to go for everything Magic related on the internet. This is, you know, kind of a one-stop shop is a good way to look at it. If you need content, they have free content plus CFB Pro if you want the ultra deep dive stuff over there. And, you know, while you're at it, they've got all the stuff that you need for Magic. They got sealed product, singles, supplies, apparel, everything over at Channel Fireball. There's always some new exciting thing on the horizon over there as well. We saw box breaks pop up. That's a cool thing that you can partake in to kind of get a little piece of something that you might not be able to buy the whole thing of. And also it has this fun stream element where you get to see what you actually got. I've done a couple of box breaks and it's really exciting. It's funny. You just think, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'll get some stuff, but then the packs start getting opened and you're like, okay, come on, baby. Like, let's hit that sweet mythic rare. And you get to watch it all unfold in front of you. If you do end up picking up anything over at CFB Pro Box Breaks, any of that stuff, if you use the affiliate code LR when you check out, it helps out the show and it lets them know that we're the ones that sent you over there. And we appreciate you doing that. So thanks for that. Then there's also, of course, the Patreon. It's patreon.com/limited resources. If you sign up for the Patreon, you can pick any amount you want. It's on a per show basis. So you only get charged for shows that we actually put up. It's not a monthly thing where, if we were to miss shows, you would still get charged for that. Though we really try hard not to miss shows. It's extremely rare for us to do that. But still, this I feel is the fairest way to do these types of things. If you sign up for any level, you'll get a thank you card in the mail with an LR sticker. And on top of that, you'll get access to the Patreon feed and to the live streams so that you can watch us record the show as we do them. And then as you work your way up to levels, you get access to more cool content and extra bonuses and stuff. We really want to say thank you to everybody on the Patreon. I know that, that's the kind of thing that can kind of slip through the cracks, but people from our community who have supported us, for the long term over there and who continue to support us, it continues to mean the world to us. And a heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you who do so. One of the things you also get is access. I mentioned it to the Patreon feed. This is where we put our questions for our question of the week, which comes from, Dr. Ace Manliness brings a question here. Dr. Ace says, I'm curious, Marshall. How did it feel to switch between two similar hobbies that are perceived so differently? What were people's thoughts as you traded the cool, mysterious poker tables of James Bond for a spot with the smelly nerds? Wow. That is a pretty generalized, stereotypical view of both the poker side of things and of the magic side of things. So a couple of things to mention here for you, Dr. Ace. First, the characterizations aren't really true, at least not anymore. Poker definitely has a much seedier side to it than Magic does by a lot. Yeah, sometimes, you can see people win a bunch of money on TV and it looks all glamorous, but the everyday life of a poker player doesn't look like that. You're in kind of shady places a lot of time. You're in these, hanging out with people that you might not normally hang out with, because anybody can sit down at the table. Alcohol can be a big part of the equation depending on where you're at, where you're hanging around with drunk people, which is just always really annoying. So, and with Magic, none of these things really apply, if you go to a Magic tournament or something like that. So that part I will say. Also, the smelly nerds categorization of Magic players isn't really true. I mean, yes, there of course are people who you could describe that way in really any group. But I think if you, look at your average Magic players these days, it's not like that. And, so I don't really see it the same way you do, but I will say, to answer your question directly, I could care less about that anyway. I tend to fall in love with the things that I fall in love with and get passionate about them. And I don't believe that I have a lot of choice in that. I rarely pursue hobbies. Instead, they kind of come to me and grow within me. And then I get, obsessed with them or really, really into them. The watch thing was the same way, where, I heard about it on a podcast. I started Googling around. I started getting this idea that I could get this one watch. And then all of a sudden I was reading articles and listening to podcasts and down the rabbit hole I went. And, it has nothing to do with anything, the glamorous life of a watch YouTuber or whatever is also not a thing. So Dr. Ace, I don't know. I don't care about that, the perception stuff. And, it certainly wasn't a factor for me. And I'm happy where I'm at. I love Magic players.
That question got asked with all the nuance we come to expect from Dr. Ace Manliness.
Okay, Luis, we are not doing Crack a Pack, obviously, because instead we're going to jump into some drafts. So I'm gonna jump into a premier draft first, and then after we're done with this, we'll talk about our deck, go over it, and then we'll jump into a traditional draft here on Arena.
Are you sure you're up for a premier draft to start out with?
What do you mean?
Jumping right into the deep end?
I mean, the weird thing is that I often go back and forth. but I got to Mythic at the end of last month and I had it for like 2 days and then it reset again. And now I don't know where I'm at, but I'm not Mythic again quite yet. So I'm still working on it. And we've got our first pack opened up here. Our rare is Bard class, unplayable. Our uncommons are Cleric class, Blue Dragon, and Krydle. And then other commons that stand out, there's Sepulchre Ghoul. I think that's how you say that now. Precipitous Drop. There's a Knoll Hunter here. Celestial Unicorn, I guess, is a magic card.
All right, so it's not the most exciting pack in the world. I'm pretty firmly on Cleric class here. It's not always going to make your deck, but when you are able to maximize this card, it is really strong. Easily the strongest card in the pack. Okay,
cool. I like going for upside here. It's also a pick that I wouldn't have made here. I would have taken Precipitous Drop or the Ghoul out of the pack. So I like going in a different direction. And I definitely have been on the wrong end of a Cleric class, in the proper deck. And it was bad for me. Like I got wrecked. All right. Our next pack is up. It's a Instrument of the Bards is our rare, which hasn't been playable. Uncommons, all three of them are left. Rally Maneuver, Black Dragon, and Ray of Enfeeblement are on the pack. As far as white cards go, there's only two. It's Paladin Shield and +2 Mace, so both of those are pretty bad. And there is another Knoll Hunter here as well.
I think here there's nothing that combines so well with Cleric class that I feel like we have to optimize for it yet. And my inclination is just to take the Black Dragon because I think it's the best card in the pack. Though Raven Enfeeblement's not that far behind, I think Black Dragon is pretty strong. Plus, bringing it back with Cleric class is a really good late game plan.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we'll go for Black Dragon. I agree 100%, by the way. Ray of Enfeeblement or Black Dragon. I'd probably take Ray if it were me, but whatever. I think that's too close to really matter. All right, we get a third pick, Grim Bounty here. There's also an Arborea Pegasus in the pack. The uncommons left are Sudden Insight and Ingenious Smith. Boy, were you right about that Ingenious Smith, by the way, Luis. You had that thing nailed from the get-go. It is bad. But yeah, I want to take Grim Bounty here.
Oh, easily Grim Bounty. Also, a note, we first picked a white card, got past two really good black cards. We are in no way committed to this Cleric class. We could easily not be drafting that. And I think basically, we're still in the best card out of every pack mode. I think that we should be there for the next pick or two, depending on what we see.
Right. And that's, it tends to be a lesson that you need to learn multiple times over the course of your limited career. Don't get married to your first pick. You just can't help it. Right. It's just a human thing that like you get excited and you think, oh man, I could just go off with this Cleric class. We could draft a life gain deck. But yeah, make sure that you're not doing that. Wow. Next pack is up. We've got the Book of Vile Darkness, which vile is a good way to describe it. But there is a Ray of Enfeeblement in the pack as well as a Shesra Death's Whisper. As far as the commons go, well, there's not much. The only white card in the pack is Potion of Healing. The only other black card is Feign Death, which is a lot worse than Ray of Enfeeblement. So yeah, I just like taking Ray here.
Easy Ray of Enfeeblement. The fact that the best card in the pack also happens to be the color that we just took two cards in a row of means we should just continue slamming black cards and see where this leads us. If we can escape this pack with like 6 or 7 good black cards, then we'll have kind of our pick of the litter in pack 2, where even if we open an off-color card, we don't have a second color, so we can just take whatever's good.
We also have multiple data points that white isn't open, right? It seems to be being cut now. You don't want to decide that too early in a draft because sometimes the packs just sort of play out that way. But that's the direction that we're leaning here. All right, next pack is up. Blue Dragon is the only uncommon. For white cards, there's a Planar Ally and a +2 Mace. The only black card in the pack is Fate's Reversal. And everything else is kind of bad.
This pack is mediocre enough that I think I would just take Planar Ally because we do have that Cleric class. There's no playables here. I just, as much as I like Blue Dragon as a card, you just should not take a blue card here. I'm sorry.
I know.
I just don't think it's the right way to go. Blue-black in particular is just, blue in any color is just not a good combination. So let's just avoid that for now. And plus, Planar Ally and Cleric class, they can go really well with a bunch of black removal because venturing can also gain you life. You can go into Dungeon of the Mad Mage and gain a life immediately to trigger that Cleric class if you need to.
That's right. Next pack is up. It has 2 white cards, Monk of the Open Hand and Keen-Eared Sentry. Black cards, 0. And in fact, there's no other real playables in the pack outside of a Rust Monster in red. But I've kind of liked Monk of the Open Hand. It's actually been I would say it plays on par with a 2-drop, and that's pretty great for a 1-drop.
Yeah, and sometimes it's even better than that, especially since we already have 2 other cards that cost 1 mana. You have the Cleric Class and the Raven Feeblement. So, yeah, pretty easy Monk of the Open Hand for me here.
Okay, so we'll take that. Now, just to recap, going into our 7th pick, we've got Cleric Class, Raven Feeblement, Grim Bounty, Planar Ally, Black Dragon, and now Monk of the Open Hand.
So it's 3 black cards, 3 white cards. Though, once again, I want to reiterate, we're not committed to either color super strongly. Black more than white, just because we saw some better later black cards. But we'll have to see where this goes.
All right, next pack is up. It has another Shesra Death's Whisper. And then there's also a Clattering Skeletons. The card that actually stands out to me here the most, though, is not in our current colors, which is green. It's a Null Hunter. Do we just take the skeletons here?
I think I would just take the skeletons here. As much as I like being open, we do have 3 black cards, 3 white cards, and Planar Ally plus Clattering Skeletons is the start of a Venture deck. Plus, black-white is literally the Venture theme.
Next pack, which is our last one before the wheel, has Delver's Torch and Zombie Ogre in our colors. The rest are basically unplayable or not interesting for us.
I've been pretty impressed with Zombie Ogre. I think I would probably go with that one. The curve is looking a little higher for this Delver's Torch. I think I'd rather just go with the Zombie Ogre plan.
Yeah, our curve's too high. Let's take a 5-drop. I agree.
Well, I'd rather take a 5-drop than a 5-mana equipment. I'll tell you that.
Definitely. All right. Our wheel pack has the Krydle in it still, as well as a couple of other blue cards. The Null Hunter did come back. There's no white cards here or black cards.
I suppose I would be more inclined to take Null Hunter than anything else, because you could potentially ditch these white cards. Besides Cleric Class, our other 2 white cards aren't even that good. It's just Monk of the Open Hand and Planar Ally. So Null Hunter could start to give us inroads into black-green. If I hadn't had such bad experiences with blue-black, I would say take Krydle, but unfortunately, I just don't think that's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. Next pack is pick number 10 here, and there's Rally Maneuver on the wheel. If for green cards, there's a Bull's Strength and a Circle of the Moon Druid, and there's no black cards. I would just take Rally Maneuver.
Yeah, I would just take Rally Maneuver here. It's a fine trick.
Yeah. It's a playable card in one of our colors, and typical for the format, Luis. 4 blue cards left: Sudden Insight, Arcane Investigator, Bar the Gate, and Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. I mean, this is just embarrassing blue.
Yeah.
I'll just take an uncommon or whatever. It doesn't
matter.
Just
take whatever blue card you think is best.
All right, so last 3 cards now: Book of the Vile Darkness, Clever Conjurer, and there is a Sylvan Shepherd, which I guess we should pick up just in case.
Take the Sylvan Shepherd. There is a very small chance we end up green somehow here.
Right. And then there's 2 green cards as we wind down the pack, and a Great Axe to end things. So after the first pack, we've got Cleric Class, Monk of the Open Hand, Ray of Enfeeblement, Null Hunter, Rally Maneuver, Sylvan Shepherd, Clattering Skeletons, Grim Bounty, Planar Ally, Zombie Ogre, and Black Dragon. Pack number 2's up. We open a Mythic, the Deck of Many Things. There's also a Battle Cry Goblin. That's one of the best uncommons in the set. The other uncommons are Bag of Holding and Iron Golem. In our colors, there's Sepulchre Ghoul. There's You Hear Something on Watch. There's also Fate's Reversal, Baleful Beholder. And I guess
you're just reading a lot of cards, but after Deck of Many Things, I kind of zoned out because it's just one of the best cards in the set.
Okay, I'm in. So
plus,
by the way,
colorless.
Yeah, it's colorless. Also, Go ahead, Luis.
The player who cut red from us in pack 1 is going to get a gift here with this Battlecry Goblin.
Yeah, they earned it. Deck of Many Things is the 5-mana legendary artifact that you can pay 2 mana, tap it to roll a d20, subtract the number of cards in your hand. And if the result is 0 or less, then you discard your hand. But otherwise, 1 through 9 returns a card at random from your graveyard to your hand. 10 through 19 draws you 2 cards, and 20 lets you get a creature back. So we'll take that. That's sweet. And this leans us a little more towards the longer game controlling it of things, which we were kind of already on that plan anyway. Next pack is up. There's a Flumph in the rare spot. There's also Divine Smite, Dungeon Crawler, and Aberrant Mind Sorcerer for uncommons. In black and white, there's +2 Mace and Vampire Spawn. This is a fairly light pack as far as the commons go. Can we just Flumph it up here?
I'm looking at either Flumph Dungeon Crawler or Vampire Spawn. I think they'd all fit pretty well in this deck. My inclination is to take Dungeon Crawler because it's an early drop that can trade off. It's nice with the Monk of the Open Hand having a 1-drop. And then if we do end up venturing, maybe we'll get a little bit of extra value from it.
Okay, I like that plan. Yeah. We talk about defensive speed a lot on the show, and Dungeon Crawler, while it doesn't look like it, actually does provide a little bit of that. So Dungeon Crawler goes into our pile. Next, we've got another rare. It's Fighter class. That's the one that cares about equipment. There's another Cleric class in the pack. And then as I look my way down the pack, there's no other white cards at all. And there's only 2 black cards, Devour Intellect, which isn't playable. And then there is a Vampire Spawn.
So here I think we make a move. I think we take the Cleric class, and now that we have double Cleric class, we really highly prioritize life gain cards. Like if we can wheel one of these copies of Vampire Spawn, we put maybe Potion of Healing in our deck. Because we also have Black Dragon to bring back with these Cleric classes, which is a really strong late game plan, alongside playing our ally Zombie Ogre some good 5-drops.
Okay. We'll take the Cleric class. All right, we're making moves. Next pack comes up, and there's Bard class again, Displacer Beast at Uncommon, another Battlecry Goblin. My heart just sunk. There is, though, a Dungeon Crawler, a Clattering Skeletons, a Fates Reversal, and a Shambling Ghast.
I think Dungeon Crawler is stronger than Shambling Ghast.
It's really close. I wonder if Ghast is actually better.
The reason I think the Crawler is stronger is because we're in Black-White. Black-White, I think, on average, completes about a dungeon per game, which means if you draw this in your opening hand, it'll come back. If it comes back once, it's way better than Shambling Ghast. Yeah,
that's very true. Okay, so let's go for the upside here. We'll go for the Dungeon Crawler. So we've got a dungeon sub-theme here. And then life gain is our attempt. Next pack up. Ooh, there's Warlock class, and you hear something on watch in our colors.
All right. Let's calm down with the you hear something on watch talk. I love Warlock class. I think the card is really strong. And this deck, it actually dumps dungeon crawlers into our graveyard to get reanimated later with dungeon completion. And it's also good with any of just like Raise Dead effects, which we have 2 Cleric classes and maybe a deck of many things. Oh yeah.
So we hope to wheel the Warlock class and take you hear something on watch. Is that what I'm picking?
Class.
Okay, that's not what you were saying. Okay, we'll take the Warlock class.
Is also really good if we're trying to draft synergy stuff because it lets us dig through our deck to find whatever it is we're missing.
Interesting here. Pack 2, pick 6. There's a Potion of Healing, which you mentioned, but there's also a Fates Reversal. And with dumping stuff in the yard, or at least putting a few cards in the yard, maybe Fates Reversal is where we want to be. Try to wheel this potion, or is the potion good enough with the double Cleric class here?
Yeah, I think I'm in for Fates Reversal because remember, it can also gain 1 life off going to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So the fact that it's a spell that also does life gain is pretty nice, whereas Potion of Healing is basically just life gain.
That's right. All right, next one comes up, and there's a Ranger's Hawk and a Deadly Dispute in our colors.
I think I like Deadly Dispute here with double Dungeon Crawler. Seems like that'd be a pretty nice little thing to sacrifice. Ranger's Hawk also is nice if you're trying to venture. So they both have some upside there.
The one consideration here, I think, is that we've currently got 7 creatures.
I suppose that's true.
I'm going to take the Hawk. I don't know which one is a correct pick there, but I am. Ooh, hello, Celestial Unicorn. Oh my God, another Ray of Enfeeblement and Celestial Unicorn, pack 2, pick 8.
I think you want the Unicorn. I think that's going to end up being better. Like we're already pretty incentivized to pick up life gain cards. Plus, Raven Feedman's fantastic. I would definitely play too, but it gets a little worse in multiples because if you're not playing against a white deck, then it's just an okay card, not a great card.
That's right. So that was pack 2, pick 8. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. And that means that we're on the wheel here. Yeah, baby. We got you here something on watch back on the wheel, Luis.
I actually think it's the pick here.
Yeah. It's a really good card. I don't know if you've ever read it, but
it's a decent removal spell.
Yeah. We'll take it.
Let's just say that Ethan, Lord Tupperware, had a lot of those in his deck in the showdown, and they did not age well past the first round.
Past the first round, great. No, I played him in the second round. Screw you. All right, pack 2, pick 10, Divine Smite. Otherwise, we're looking at a Great Axe or a Leather Armor. So nothing playable here.
This is a best of 1, so Divine Smite's not good enough to main deck, but sure, you could take it.
Okay, I'll take it. There's 2 blue cards, a green card, and a colorless card here. Let's take the colorless card. I'm not bothering to read them because none of them are going to make the cut. They're not relevant. And 3 cards left, same situation. 2 cards left, same situation. And the last card is also off color for us. So Currently, double cleric class, monk of the open hand, ranger's hawk, 2 dungeon crawlers, array of enfeeblement, a warlock class, 1 you hear something on watch, a fate's reversal, a celestial unicorn, a rally maneuver, clattering skeletons, 1 grim bounty, a planar ally, a zombie ogre, a deck of many things, and a black dragon. As we go to pack 3, pick 1, our rare is sorcerer class. Next is moon-based cleric. This could get interesting. We actually have 3 different targets there. There's also a Lightfoot rogue at uncommon. As far as the commons go, there's Dwarfhold Champion, Deadly Dispute, Vampire Spawn.
I actually think the pick here is Vampire Spawn.
Okay. We didn't wheel either of the other 2, by the way. That's a bummer.
It's so good with the 2 cleric classes and the unicorn. I think we're going to be happiest with the Vampire Spawn here, as funny as that is.
It is weird, but we do need to prioritize life gain effects. So we take Vampire Spawn. Wow. Okay, next pack has some stuff. The rare is Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Then there's a wizard class, but there's another black dragon, another warlock class, both at uncommon. There's also a minimus containment and a precipitous drop at common.
This is tough because the best card is Black Dragon, I think. But yeah. I don't think we're supposed to take another 7-drop when we have 1 plus deck of many things. I'm kind of thinking precipitous drop might be the plan here, since we've got a couple other ways to venture, and we do actually want to get to the end of a dungeon to get our dungeon crawlers back. I like it over minimus containment in this situation too. So we'll do that. And maybe we actually do wheel something. There's 3 really good cards here. Yeah, it wouldn't be out of the question to wheel something there. We got our rare for pack 3, pick 3. It's Adult Gold Dragon. How do we not splash for that? What else is here? There's a planar ally, another dungeon crawler, a sepulchre ghoul, and a shambling ghast. Yeah, I would just take the dragon. We also have enough venturing that you can get a treasure. You go to the Lost Mines of Phandelver, and maybe 2 ventures in, you get a treasure. So each of our venture cards is like half a fixing card. Plus, it's so good with cleric classes. Plus, if you just cast Adult Gold Dragon, the card's awesome. 4/3 flying, lifelink haste. It just kind of does everything you want. Yeah, life gain for us is great too. Yeah, we can also Phandelver, scry 1, then make a treasure, and then we can do the drain in the middle. So that gets another life gain trigger as well. Next pack is up. It's pack 3, pick 4. We've got a Lightfoot Rogue, a Celestial Unicorn, a Dwarfhold Champion, and another Sepulchre Ghoul. Yeah, I think this is Unicorn based on the direction we're going. Same. And a quick look at our mana curve shows that right now we have 4 3-drops, so we're fine on that. So let's take the Celestial Unicorn. 1-drops, by the way. Yeah, our deck is extremely low curve. This is going to be the best Monk of the Open Hand ever. All right, pack 3, pick 5. Nothing in the pack except for Shambling Ghast and another Celestial Unicorn. I want to take the Unicorn, but I'm wondering if Shambling Ghast is the pick. Now that we picked up Adult Gold Dragon, it's a way to make a treasure. True. And, we really could use our 9th 1-drop here. I mean... Yeah, I guess from that perspective, the Unicorn might be better. There's so many 1-drops already. I actually do think we should go for the Unicorn. Monk of the Open Hand is going to be such a banger here. It really is. It's going to get counters all the time. We're going to take the Unicorn. Ooh, Veteran Dungeoneer. In the next pack, there's also a Gloomstalker, an Ochre Jelly, and you're ambushed on the road. Ochre Jelly? That card is awesome and splashable. Don't understand this. Oh, boy. Now I really wish we would have taken that stupid Ghoul. Yeah. Are we just supposed to take the Dungeoneer here, or should we just go big? I'm kind of wondering if we should also splash just take the Ochre Jelly. It's time to be heroes, Marshall. Yeah, I think so too. This is not for cowards. Why is it here? Perfect. Now we've got a Thieves' Tools. That makes a treasure. There we go. We're going to play it basically for that reason only, but hey, we'll take it. There's also nothing else in the pack. So Thieves' Tools goes into our pile. So. Yep. And now this is, oh my goodness sakes. So this is pack 3, pick 8. Choose your weapon, Bag of Holding, Clever Conjurer, Pixie Guide, Direwolf Prowler, and then look at this, Owlbear and Evolving Wilds here. I like slamming Evolving Wilds. Evolving Wilds is going to make this whole thing work a lot better. Do we have to play a forest and a mountain, though? Well, we'll see what our deck looks like. I don't think that's necessarily you necessarily need both. All right. Well, pick 3, pick 9. This is our wheel. We did wheel one of the Lightfoot Rogues. Sure. Take it. I mean, there's an Inspiring Bard that would go well in the deck, but it's a soft color. So we'll just take the 2-drop here. And then pack 3, pick 10. 2 blue cards, 2 green cards, and a spiked Pit Trap. I'm definitely taking the Pit Trap. We could make a treasure off it.
Pack 3, pick 11. Sepulchre Ghoul. Sure. And then as we wind things down, an Underdark Basilisk out of 3 cards left, 2 cards left. Sylvan Shepherd. And looks like we're not going to get anything else exciting back here. Just another Sylvan Shepherd to wind down the draft. So let's take a look at what the deck actually looks like as we have 44 cards here. I'll read them real quickly and then we'll do all the changes and then I'll read the final deck. So right now, with 4 cards to cut, in the 1-drop slot, we have double Cleric class, Monk of the Open Hand, Ranger's Hawk, 2 Dungeon Crawler, Ray of Enfeeblement, Warlock class. And then in the 2-drop, we've got You Hear Something on Watch, Fate's Reversal, Lightfoot Rogue, Sepulchre Ghoul is currently in here, Thieves' Tools. 3 drops, we've got 3 Celestial Unicorn, a Rally Maneuver, a Precipitous Drop, and that one very key Vampire Spawn. 4s, we've got Clattering Skeletons and Grim Bounty. 5s, we've got Planar Ally, Zombie Ogre, Adult Gold Dragon, and the Deck of Many Things. 7s, we have Black Dragon, and then we have the Ochre Jelly for our last card.
So looking at this, I think the cards that stand out to me to cut are Thieves' Tools and the Ghoul. The Sepulchre Ghoul doesn't really do much for us.
Yeah.
And
let's see, creature count, we've got 15 right now.
Yeah, we were fine on creatures.
We're good on that.
We could Rally Maneuver is interesting because it does give us lifelink.
Mm-hmm.
So life gain with Cleric class is nice. The other thing to remember is Cleric class doesn't need that much life gain to be decent because the third mode of bringing back one of our dragons or even something like a Planar Ally or Zombie Ogre is pretty strong.
It is.
This is 42.
Yeah, we're at 42 right now. Now, one question we have is, does Ochre Jelly and Adult Gold Dragon make it? I think Adult Gold Dragon's not, I think we have to splash it. But is the Ochre Jelly worth it here? Like, are we going to run a forest?
Ochre Jelly is awesome. And we do have that Fate's Reversal to bring it back when it dies. When you play this, X equals 4. It's a 4/4 that dies into a 2/2 that dies into a 1/1. That's good. X equals 6. Then it's just like 6/6 that dies into a 3/3. Well, that dies into a 1/1. But it's just a really strong card and really hard for your opponents to deal with.
Yeah.
I think that what I would be looking to do here is probably cut maybe like one of the Celestial Unicorns because we don't have that many recurring life gain options. And then maybe that like Lightfoot Rogue. I don't think we need the 2-drop that badly when we have 4 1-drop creatures. So we're going to be on the board well enough. Okay. And then we're just going to try to play a little defensively here. We've got Grim Bounty, Ray of Enfeeblement, You Hear Something on Watch, and Black Dragon as good removal. Oh, and Precipitous Drop. Plus Deck of Many Things or 2 splash cards, that Black Dragon again, and then the Cleric classes as good late game. So I think that this deck ended up being good. It's not the most synergistic, but it has really high card quality, which honestly is the way to win in this format. I kind of wish it wasn't quite so much that, in fact, but look at what are our 5 best cards? Deck of Many Things, Adult Gold Dragon, Ochre Jelly, Grim Bounty, and either Black Dragon or Cleric class. Like that's a pretty obscene selection of 5 cards. Class.
Yeah, it's really great.
I'm inclined to play 1 Mountain, 1 Forest, and then Evolving Wilds.
So you do want to be able to search these up.
If I didn't have the wilds, I wouldn't probably want to play a forest and just operate off treasures. But the fact that you're getting the 2-for-1 is pretty nice. Like, it's hard to turn that down because 7/7/1/1/1 leaves us with 8 black, 8 white primary, and then 1 green, 1 red plus Evolving Wilds, making it 2 of each. Plus we have a bunch of ways to make treasures between Venture and Grim Bounty.
Yeah, we also have a lot of spells that only require 1 color of mana. All of our 1-drops, of course, all of our 2s and all of our 3s. And then we start getting into the doubles a little bit later, but hopefully we'll have some mana underneath us. Okay, so there's our final build. I'll read it one time just for people that are listening. So this deck ended up being, again, starting from the 1-drops, double Cleric class, double Dungeon Crawler, Ranger's Hawk, Monk of the Open Hand, Ray of Enfeeblement, Warlock class. 2s are You Hear Something on Watch and Fate's Reversal, so no creatures there. 3s are 2 Celestial Unicorn, a Rally Maneuver, a Precipitous Drop, a Vampire Spawn. Those are the 3s. The 4s are Clattering Skeletons and Grim Bounty. The 5s are Planar Ally, Zombie Ogre, Adult Gold Dragon, and the Deck of Many Things. That's nice. That's a nice little run there. And then Black Dragon in the 7 plus Ochre Jelly for green and X. And then we've got 7 plains, 7 swamp, a mountain, a forest, and a wilds. Is it possible we want to cut Ranger's Hawk or Dungeon Crawler for the 3rd unicorn?
No, I like this. I think Hawk is going to be nice at giving us, with all these other 1-drops, you can just start venturing pretty early. And I think Venture does pretty good stuff in this deck.
Okay, cool. All right. So there's our build. What kind of what do you think of it? Is this a good deck? Is this a medium deck?
I think this deck's sweet. I think this deck's like an 8 out of 10, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe really a 7 out of 10.
We really did get there on the power level.
I mean, Deck of Many Things. I don't know if you've had a chance to play with or against that card.
I have,
but it's obscene how good that card is.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
And then like Adult Gold Dragon and Ochre Jelly aren't far behind, and we've got a couple removal spells and a lot of early good creatures to play. So I feel like this deck is kind of what you want. Obviously, it would have been nice to get there maybe a little more on the life gain theme. We end up not being like that heavy on it, but we're enough to make those cards work, and we're just trying to stall to get to our incredible late game.
I mean, all we wanted to do was wheel a freaking vampire spawn. Like, was that too much to ask?
I think we maybe should have taken a vampire spawn over the dungeon crawler. My mode is still like, hey, this card will wheel. I think the secret's out. Vampire spawn's just really good.
And it was actually quite good in our deck, right? Like it filled a few roles, 3-drop plus the life gain and drain. Okay, so we're going to jump into a traditional queue now. And this, we'll change our picks a little bit. We have to have a nod towards sideboard cards that we don't have to otherwise. And let's see what we open up. Oh, baby, this pack. Wow. So our rare is Nadar, Selfless Paladin. That card's awesome. There's also uncommon Plate Armor, which is sweet. The next 2 uncommons are blue, so I'm not even going to bother. What else is in the pack? Celestial Unicorn, Improvised Weaponry, Deadly Dispute. Yeah, that's it.
It's really Nadar versus Plate Armor. And at the beginning of the format, I would have kind of laughed all the way to the bank and just taken Nadar. Mm-hmm. But I think that Nadar is still the pick. It's a little closer for me now because I've had really, really good experiences with Plate Armor. But Nadar is just so good when it works.
Yeah, I like Plate Armor a lot too, but I think Nadar is just the kind of card that demands to be killed and is actually somewhat difficult to. This thing doesn't have 2 toughness. It doesn't die to improvised weaponry or things like that. So we're going to slam Nadar here and see if we can't build around it. All right, next pack is up. Eye of Vecna is the rare. The uncommons are Grim Wanderer and Critical Hit. Best cards in the pack. There's a Grim Bounty. There's a Price of Loyalty, Improvised Weaponry, Plundering Barbarian. In white, there's literally 1 card. It's Potion of Healing. So we're not going to take a white card. So if it's me, I think I just take Grim Bounty here.
Yeah, and I think if it's us, we also take Grim Bounty. So
yeah.
It's funny. This feels like it happens more in these episodes than normal, where we just draft the same deck twice. And that's without me counting you and your like deranged Teamer Kick and Strixhaven. I don't know what's going on with that. But
I won a lot with it. That's what was going on with that.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem, actually. But we could talk about that some other time. Grim Bounty, I think, is the best card in the pack. Plus, Nadar goes perfectly into black-white. I mean, that is where you want him more than any other color combination.
All right, so Grim Bounty joins Nadar, Selfless Paladin, as we go to pack 1, pick 3. Wow. Acerak. What do you call it? Acerak?
I just call it Acerak because that's what I'm used to calling Acerak. I ran a whole D&D campaign where I just called him Acerak the whole time, so I'm not willing to change that at this point.
Acerak.
Acerak.
Yeah, the Archlich.
It's the worst name than Acerak, so we're just going with that.
Yeah,
look,
Acerak.
You're not my coverage boss. You can't tell me what to do.
2 and a black for a 5/5 legendary zombie wizard when it enters the battlefield. If you haven't completed the Tomb of Annihilation, you return this thing to its hand in Venture, and whenever it attacks for each opponent, you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token unless that player sacrifices a creature. That's sweet.
So, I mean, getting a mythic one of the like Venture payoffs after first picking Nadar, second picking Grim Bounty, like this is looking on rails. It's somewhat rigged, even.
It is. The rest of the pack only has a half monk. There's no black cards besides the one that we took. All right, next up is Monk of the Open Hand again at pack 1, pick 4. You see a pair of goblins are the uncommons. And then the commons in our colors currently are Arborea Pegasus, there's a Minimus Containment, Fate's Reversal, Deadly Dispute. And then there happens to be a Faraday's Fireball in red, just worth noting. I would just take Minimus Containment here.
Yeah, as much as I like Monk of the Open Hand, Minimus Containment is a good card. You should just take it. Plus, getting a 4th pick Minimus Containment, pretty good sign.
Yeah, I am in for this. This draft is going, like you said, kind of on rails. Did you make a call? Did you get us on some list or something?
Yeah.
So so that was pack 1, pick 4. So we've got Nadar, Grim Bounty, Acerak, and then Minimus Containment.
So we have 2 good Venture Rare / Mythics, and then 2 good removal spells.
Oh my God. Weird. So this next pack has 2 really great uncommons. It has Chaos Channeler and Kalane in it. And then if we look at the rest of the pack, there's other good stuff. You hear something on Watch, which I like. There's +2 Mace, which I don't. And then there's a Vampire Spawn and a Shambling Ghast in our colors.
Wow, this is tricky because Kalane is certainly the best card.
Right.
I'm really hesitant to move off of Black-White when there's Vampire Spawn, which is a card we just talked about being good, and we've got Acerak plus Nadar is such a strong reason to stay in Black-White. I think I would take Vampire Spawn here. I don't feel like
I would take Shambling Ghast, but
sure.
I'm in for Spawn. I don't know. I just want to make my life. Go ahead.
The point is more like I don't want to jump into red here after getting a 4th pick Minimus Containment in white. So
yeah, it's very tempting. Those 2 red cards are very, very good. Next pack is up. Pack 1, pick 6. We've got Clattering Skellions and a Sepulchre Ghoul.
I like the skeletons if you're going to go with the Venture theme here. And the Ghoul in Black-White is medium, very replaceable.
Right. Now, one thing we have to keep in mind here is we've got 4 3-drops and 2 4-drops right now. So just, this isn't emergency mode or anything, but it's just maybe a tiebreaker for
Definitely. We got time.
We got time. All right, next pack is up. And there we go. So interestingly, another decent red card here, Tiger Tribe Hunter. But in our colors, there's Devour Intellect, no. +2 Mace, no. Yes, Horde Robber.
I like Horde Robber. I've been pretty impressed with it. Though now I'm starting to wonder if maybe we should be going into red because we haven't taken a white card in a couple packs, but I think I would still just take the Horde Robber and kind of see where this goes.
Okay, but that's, again, we're changing
you just
our thing.
Keep your eyes open and keep.
There it is. There's our signal. Demi-Lich. Blue's open, baby. There's really nothing for us here. Oh, I lied. There's a Hired Hexblade in this pack.
Yeah, so it's 2 good blue cards, 2 decent green cards, and then Hired Hexblade and Spiked Pit Trap, but I think we just take the Hired Hexblade. We just got a treasure card. You never know. Plus, it's a 2-drop. It's just going to be fine. Yeah,
the green cards are Loathsome Troll and Null Hunter, just for the record. So that's 8 picks in. Next pack is pack 1, pick 9. This is our wheel pack. So we've got Potion of Healing and Manticore here for us. Everything else is jank. Except for Inspiring Bard, which I actually like.
So Manticore is nice with Horde Robber specifically because they do like blocking the Horde Robber. But I've been pretty unimpressed overall. But this doesn't really look like a Potion of Healing deck. So yeah, I'd probably take the Manticore.
Yeah. I actually don't mind the Manticore. I find that even when people know you have it, they can't play around it necessarily. Wow. Pack 1, pick 10. There's a freaking Plundering Barbarian in this pack, but there's cards for us. There's Deadly Dispute, Hired Hexblade, and Thieves' Tools as well. Yeah,
I would take the Dispute here. Dispute's good. And we already have 1 Hexblade, so I'd rather have 1 and 1 for sure.
Definitely.
So at the end of this pack, we're going to end up with like 10 black cards. We have 8 black cards after this, and then just the 2 white cards. But I don't feel. But yeah, there's this pack now with 4 blue cards, 3 of which are good. People they're just not unwilling to be tricked. I was looking at a stat. The winningest blue common has the same win rate as like the 17th best black common or something like that.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. We'll have to talk to Sirkovitz about that when we have him come on for this set. Okay, I'm winding down the last picks here. And as Luis mentioned, we're heavy in black right now. Oh my God, Luis. Why do we run so hot whenever I'm on this thing? So our black cards are Deadly Dispute, Hired Hexblade, Horde Robber, Acerak, Vampire Spawn, Clattering Skeletons, Grim Bounty, Manticore. And then our white cards are Minimus Containment and Nadar. And the magic gods have smiled upon us, Luis. We opened Westgate Regent here. One of the better black rares and an easy pick. There's even a Cloister Gargoyle that we love here. I would have been happy with Cloister Gargoyle. And, well, let's just say we've got a reservation at the Westgate Regent tonight.
I mean, not only is this the color we unquestionably know we are in, it's one of the best cards in the set. So just a windmill slam all around. It's just, sometimes they make it too easy. I will say, though, this draft, we're obviously taking the Westgate region here. This draft, we could have pivoted into red, and we'd have one red card and one red-black card instead of two of our black cards. Unclear whether that's going to be better or not. We're going to have to see what the next couple picks look like. And right now, I'm liking where we stayed.
Yeah, so our next pack comes up, and there's Jorn and Trickster's Talisman, Rust Monster, but there's also Barrowin of Clan Undur here. And then the other cards are fine. There's +2 Mace, Celestial Unicorn, Eyes of the Beholder, and a Hired Hexblade. But yeah, we got a gold uncommon.
I mean, Barrowin is a very strong card in black-white, and this gives us yet another good venture card. If we were in the black-red theme, we would probably take Zorn, the multiple treasure guy. But I'm pretty happy taking Barrowin because I still think, as good as Kalane is, I still think our white cards are still a little bit stronger, even if white doesn't seem quite as open. I think that the black-white venture deck itself is open, which does mean we can pick up some cards we'll want for the deck, like, I don't know, a late Cloister Gargoyle or something along those lines.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. All right, so Barrowin's going to join our party here, as it were, and wow, more good stuff for us. There's Blink Dog, Death Priest of Mirkul. In the uncommon slot, there's a Steadfast Paladin, your boy, another Hired Hexblade, but that's not as good as those other cards. And then the rest of the pack, outside of our colors, there's, I don't know, a Swarming Goblins or something.
What
do you
like
Steadfast
here? Paladin. Easy Steadfast
You don't
Paladin.
like the Death Priest here?
I like Death Priest as a card, but we're already trending to the high end of the curve. Getting another 2-drop is so good. It's also one that's like good with Manticore, good at trading off. Steadfast Paladin is just a really good card. I think that most people have come around to it at this point. I have found it to be very effective.
I would take Death Priest here for what it's worth. I found that card to be, under the right circumstances, a dominator, but I definitely agree that we need 2, so I'm happy to take that.
I'm just looking at our 5 cards that cost 4 more and thinking all right, let's. How
about we bridge the gap a little? Yeah. All right. Next,
just think about it this way: by doing that pick now in this pack, we're going to look at a planar ally that I think was just completely off the table. If we took the Death Priest, we might not take it. We'll see because there's a couple other cards too, but it lets us have more flexibility later.
It does. There's a Dawnbringer Cleric, a Planar Ally, another Deadly Dispute, and a Shambling Ghast here. So for me, it's between Shambling Ghast and Planar Ally.
Definitely.
I would think I would actually take the Ally here. I think we've got a lot of 2s and 3s. I'm not worried about getting on the board.
Yeah, I like the Ally here. It is a huge threat in decks like this. Because in some decks, if you're like red-white and you play it because you need to fill out your curve or your high-end whatever, Planar Ally is kind of ignorable. It can hit you once or twice. In this deck, one attack is usually just about good enough to get you over the line.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing as a Westgate Regent in this deck. Next pack is Pack 2, Pick 5. Drider, Precipitous Drop, and there's a Sepulchre Ghoul and a Delver's Torch, too. Man, I really like Drider. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be, but it's still like a card I like to have in my deck. But I think I'd rather have Precipitous Drop here.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty clear Precipitous Drop.
Yeah, Drider's been a disappointment based on where I thought it would be, but I haven't gone so low on it that I'm like not interested in it, I guess is the way I would put it. Pack 2, Pick 6, Potion of Healing, Fate's Reversal, and Thieves' Tools. I love a Fate's Reversal here.
Yeah, Fate's Reversal is looking awesome because, first of all, we're a venture deck. Second, we have Nadar, Barrowin, Westgate Regent. Like, these are some cards you want to get back from the graveyard.
That's right. Especially, with Nadar and Barrowin for the ETB, like you could just get the value right away almost. So, yeah, really nice Fate's Reversal pickup there. All right, now we're getting into the dregs here. Pack 2, Pick 7. There's a Herald of Hadar.
Yeah, no playables here. The best card, and also one thing to always be checking in on is, are you passing really good cards in other colors? When you see a pack that's a brick, sometimes it's just a pack that's a brick. In this case, there's like an Intrepid Outlander, the 2/3 reach for 2, but we're not passing a bunch of Dragon's Fires or anything like that. So right. I still feel pretty good about our position.
Same. We're also at 17 playables here. Next pack comes up. Wow, this is Pack 2, Pick 8. Ranger's Hawk, Deadly Dispute, another Precipitous Drop, Thieves' Tools, and a Zombie Ogre. I'm just slam this Precipitous Drop.
Easy Precipitous Drop. I mean, it's just by far the best card for this archetype. Yeah, we're really getting there. This deck is shaping up to be much better than our first deck because it's more synergistic and can still compete on power level.
We wield the Cloister Gargoyle. You called it, Luis.
Oh, yeah. So even if white is not open, adventure is, and wielding a Cloister Gargoyle, we wield a 3-mana 3/4 flyer that has a good effect when it enters the battlefield.
Wow.
Like, how crazy is that?
What a pickup. Cloister Gargoyle, welcome to the team. There's also Delver's Torch here. Would we play a Delver's Torch in this deck? Maybe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to obviously take Cloister Gargoyle here, but I have no objection to playing Delver's Torch in a heavy venture, heavy creature deck, which looks like what we're doing.
So Pack 2 Pick 10 has +2 Mace, Eyes of the Beholder, and Hired Hexblade. I would take Eyes. I don't think that any of these cards has a high chance of making the cut.
I mean, we have enough playables for our deck after pick 2 packs. So yes, we're not playing the Hired Hexblade we already have. And we're definitely not playing a new one. And we're not playing Eyes of the Beholder. So at this point, I just take cards of our color for signaling purposes, just to not pass random late cards of our color and make other people think it's open.
Finally, this is the one card here. Pack 2, pick 12. We picked up another Hired Hexblade in the last pick. There's a Goblin Morningstar still in the pack. That stands out to me. That's one of the first times I've seen a card here where I'm going, what is this here for?
Yeah.
That wasn't here for us, at least. All right, so 2 green cards to wind out the pack. Yes, we do not want these Hexblades in here. Wow. We have 19 playables going to the last pick, and we could have a submittable deck here too. I've been picky. Oh my God. What is going on here? We opened Paladin class, Luis.
Yeah, I just hope my draft goes this well at the MPL Gauntlet next month. Like, this is just incredible.
Your draft at the MPL Gauntlet? Is that...
Oh, right. No, we're playing 15 rounds of the same standard. We played 500 matches. In any case,
I'm so sorry, Luis, but
let's go ahead and take Paladin class here. It's just a bomb, and we also have a pretty heavy creature deck, so it's already going to be good there.
We do. Right now, we're at 12 creatures, and this is with an entire pack ahead of us.
Oh, we've got a lot of upgrades we can make. We got this Mana Core we can upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
This Horde Robber that we don't really need. Like, we're at the good part where you've already got the luxury sedan, but you're deciding on, do you want the leather trim or the Sirius radio? Like, what are you looking for here?
All right, this next pack has white in the that's WIGHT in the rare slot. Dragon's Disciple, Power Word Kill. There's also Veteran Dungeoneer, and you hear something on Watch in this pack as well. I like PWK though.
That's close.
What are you choosing between that and you hear something on Watch because they're both premium removal?
Right,
is that your thought process?
No, white is a really good card.
It is a really good card, and it's an excellent 2-drop. I would still take BWK myself.
Yeah, that's fine.
We don't have that much removal.
But I think they're close. We've got 2 precipitous drops and a Grim Bounty. We're not doing poorly on removal.
Well, if we pass Power Word Kill, we're on the way. Oh man, the hits keep coming. Check for traps. Another Barrowin. There's also a Dawnbringer Cleric, a Deadly Dispute, and a Hexblade in our colors. Finally, there's a good card here for somebody else. There's a Dragon's Fire, but I like just slamming another Barrowin here.
Oh, easy Barrowin here. We're going to be Barrowing them in card advantage in a second.
Yeah, we are. Oh man, double Barrowin.
This is like one of the decks that I'm actually jealous that you get to play it out. Like this deck looks so sweet.
Yeah.
Like I love the fact that it's high synergy, and then of course I enjoy having high power level on top of that.
It's funny because I think with this Barrowin pick here, I would give this deck a 10, and we've got like 11 more picks to go.
Yeah, we have like 4 or 5 more picks of new cards. But
this is pack 3, pick 4, yeah.
Where we can like take an Evolving Wilds here just to make it so our mana is a little smoother.
Yeah, we're giving up a Horde Robber, but we're kind of hoping not to play the Horde Robber anyway.
Yeah, we already have one we don't really want to play because I think the card's fine, obviously, but it's something I think you can if you don't have some good ways to like take advantage of it or really want treasures, I think you can do better. And Evolving Wilds is a nice pickup here because we have we got some double blacks and double white cards.
Yeah. And we're not past anything of relevance. There goes that one. All right, next up, there's Dungeon Crawler, Celestial Unicorn, and You're Ambushed on the Road. A good amount of owlbears floating around, just of note. There's a Spoils of the Hunt and an owlbear in this pack. Of course, not relevant for us, but just something to consider. Do we just take the Dungy C here?
Oh, yeah, this is a really good Dungeon Crawler deck. Like, we have that Deadly Dispute that we might end up playing, but also, like, this deck really does get there on Venture. We've got, like, in terms of cards that progress us through the dungeon, we've got Fate's Reversal, we've got Cloistered Gargoyle, we've got Nadar and Asarak both as multi-step dungeoning because they both, can do it repeatedly. Then we also have now 3 precipitous drops, Cloistered Gargoyle, Planar Ally. Like, we have no shortage here. And yeah, we're slamming a precipitous drop over a Yuan-Ti Fangblade.
Yeah, I like the Fangblade actually quite a bit, but these precipitous drops are just going to be -5/-5 like a lot of the time in our deck.
Yeah.
Like, these have turned into very, very real removal. This gives us 24 cards plus including the Evolving Wilds. So there's a deck right there. Now we pick up Pack 3, pick 7. There's a Gloomstalker. Do we actually need to look at this card ever? Like, this is actually going to have double strike a lot of the time. There's also Shambling Gas, though, which is, I think, what I would take.
Yeah, I think this is actually a deck that would play and be happy with Gloomstalker, but I would take Shambling Ghast because our deck is already through the roof in terms of power. We don't need to go a little bit deeper here.
We did get a Black Mythic Rare, Pack 3, pick 8, but it's Asmodeus the Archfiend.
I still don't really like this one too much.
I don't like it at all. Or not Mythic, just regular Rare, but yeah.
I might take it over Sepulchre Ghoul. I don't think we're going to play that one either.
Yeah. I'm just going to put it.
I still haven't really found a good use case for Asmodeus. I don't know.
I get some gems, right? Like, that's the.
This is also true.
So Pack 3, pick 9. This is our wheel pack. Nothing of note. There's a Paladin Shield. I'm just going to take 50 feet of rope and put it right into my sideboard. Wow. Okay. Pack 3, pick 10. We wield a Veteran Dungeoneer.
Oh yeah, that one's getting in.
Yeah. So we'll take that over another Dragon's Disciple. There's like 5 of these floating around the packs. And we also wield Check for Traps if we are interested in that type of effect. I think we're the only
black drafter.
Yeah, we might have been.
Like, literally, like, we got a power word kill, 4th pick. We've got, we just keep wheeling medium black cards. Like, Asmodeus is maybe not the best card in the world, but definitely is a card that I feel like doesn't wheel all that often.
I mean, it's worth a few gems at the very least. And then we get to wind out the pack with a couple of blue cards. So let's take a look at our build here, Luis, and see what we've got. I'm going to run it by for our viewer or for our listeners here. So right now we're at 43 cards. We've got Paladin class Dungeon Crawler, Shambling Ghast, Steadfast Paladin, Check for Traps, Deadly Dispute, Fate's Reversal, Horde Robber. Can I just cut that right now?
Yeah, you can just cut the Horde Robber.
Okay, so 42 cards. Last 2 drop is Power Word Kill. 3 drops are Cloister Gargoyle, Minimus Containment, Nadar, Asarak, Triple Precipitous Drop, and then a kind of lost-looking Vampire Spawn. 4 drops are Veteran Dungeoneer, Clattering Skeletons, Manticore, Grim Bounty, Double Barrowin. And our 5s are Planar Ally, Westgate Region, and there's somehow a Herald of Hadar. So I think the drops are just Manticore and Herald here.
Yep.
Just take those out, and we've just got a frickin' chef's kiss 10 out of 10.
As smooth and clean as you want. 8 plains, 8 swamps, 1 evolving wild, just to get the 9th mana source of each one. A beautiful curve with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 ways to venture, 12 ways to venture, plus like an additional couple payoffs outside of the ones included in that number. And then just for the hell of it, a Westgate Region, a Power Word Kill, and a Grim Bounty, just to make sure we weren't lacking. And a Paladin class. Can't forget that one.
Yeah,
just to make sure we weren't lacking for power. Also worth noting that we have Nadar and Asarak and Double Barrowin, so we're not talking like Gloomstalker levels of payoffs for Dungeoneering. So yeah, this is a 10. It doesn't get better than this. It's a strong synergistic deck with multiple bombers outside of the theme, multiple bombers inside of the theme, and then some removal like Power Kill and Grim Bounty just to make sure you don't lose to something, like a big early Celestial Unicorn.
Do you think that this shows our incredible skill level when it comes to drafting Magic the Gathering, or what?
Well, yes and no. So obviously you're joking in so far as like you can't really predict picking up Westgate Regent and Paladin class out of nowhere, right? Like that's not skilled. But some number of folks would have taken the Kalane and the Tiger Tribe Hunter in Pack 1 because that was a legitimate direction to go. And had they done that, it would have ended up with a worse deck. I'm not even saying that was right or wrong. Obviously, it worked out much better to stay in black-white. But what I think is instructive about drafts like this, like the last draft was a little messier, of course, but in this one, It would have been interesting. That I don't know how many like drafters I would show the what we had when we saw the Kalane and asked, would you switch here? Some amount would, some amount wouldn't. It's more important, rather than how well it worked out, which was very well in this case, is to look at what are the reasons to do one or the other. The reason I wanted to stay in white and not abandon it was we first picked a really good rare, which isn't a signal. It just means we have a good rare in Nadar. But second, we got a fourth pick minimus containment, which is not nothing. I think that's legit. And our other rare, Acererak, works really well with our first rare, Nadar. They both kind of push you the same direction. And then add to that I think the black-white venture deck is a hard one to get going and a hard one to kind of assemble. I often feel like you have the opportunity to draft it. Like it's not a very contested deck. It's not like red-black. So I think this deck ended up fantastically. Obviously, it takes some luck to do that. You don't just end up with an incredibly good deck just because you drafted well. That takes a combination of luck and skill. But it also turned out that I think we got paid off for sticking to our guns, and that's a good thing. That's something that you should like keep in mind when you look at those decisions in the future.
Yeah, I feel like you provided the luck. I provided the skill. Victory,
that's fair.
Yet to be determined.
So you're saying I provided something. You
did, yes. All right, so we've got two kind of spicy ones here. This one, just an absolute headliner for the format in terms of black-white venture. The other one, a little more creative with the splashes and stuff like that, but they're both pretty sweet. 10 out of 10, and you gave the other one like an 8, right?
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
About it.
Okay.
So the other one I do want to talk about for a sec also is it's not true that in every format I would have wanted to splash a red card and a green card in our white-black deck, but it turned out that we had access to two pretty powerful cards, and I think this format does lend itself to wanting to splash power because, again, the synergy generally isn't so powerful that it overwhelms just the raw power level of cards like Adult Gold Dragon or Ochre Jelly.
Right. I really like Adult Gold Dragon in this deck too for the life gain and also for the fact that it helps you catch back up because we really prioritized cheap interactive creatures like the double dungeon crawlers that we have in here and Ray of Enfeeblement and stuff, Monk of the Open Hand to make sure that we're doing something early. And now, we're kind of, and then we hope to kind of bridge that gap to the late game where we can take advantage of cards like Adult Gold Dragon, Deck of Many Things, and Black Dragon as well. Okay, well, hopefully that was useful. Again, if you want to see these decks, you can go onto the LR YouTube to this episode and you can watch us draft them just to get the visuals. And you can see some of the cards that we passed. We obviously can't read every single card, so we just keep it to the relevant ones and the ones that stand out. But again, hopefully these are useful for you to see how we navigate when we decide to jump ship, when we decide not to jump ship as we didn't in that last one. And trying to figure out when I can play these. I can record them either way. I would like to do them on my stream, but I'm actually going to be going to visit my mom tomorrow when I would normally be streaming. So I'm not going to be streaming this week. And I really want to make sure I play these and get them recorded because one time something happened where the queue wasn't there anymore and I didn't get to play it out. And that really felt like a bummer. So I might just record them straight up and put them up on the LR channel or something like that. I'll figure it out. At any rate, that's going to do it for our episode this week. Thanks so much for hanging out. As always, we really appreciate it. If you want to support the show, you can do so via the Patreon directly, patreon.com/limited resources. But also, our sponsor, channelfireball.com. Make sure you head over there as well. That helps out the show too. If you use the affiliate code LR, it helps us out. But of course, it helps out CFB just by shopping over there for anything you need magic related, pick up AFR. Or as we start to look forward to the next set coming out, what's it called? Darkness over Innistrad or whatever?
Innistrad Midnight Hunt.
Midnight Hunt. If you want to start looking at those cards, I've already seen some spoilers start to pop up and, the gap a little shorter on this one. So, once those become available, you can buy, pre-order them over at CFB as well. Not quite there yet, but it'll be soon enough, I'm sure. If you want to find us on social media, I'm Marshall_LR and Luis is LSV. You can find everything related to the podcast at lrcast.com. That's going to do it for this one. We'll see you next week.
So I did coverage last weekend with Marshall. We were in the booth together for the Rivals or Challenger Gauntlet rather, And it was fun. It was a fun show. Kind of we did the whole coverage thing, and it kind of reminded me of there are some all-time great moments on coverage. So I wanted to give you a rundown of some of the best moments that have happened in coverage.
Oh boy.
So first I've got a dishonorable mention. That was during one of the set championships when one of the competitors had not informed his roommate that he was going to be playing on camera. There was a view of the bathroom. The roommate just strolls in, doesn't close the bathroom door, and just proceeds to, drain the lizard, as they say. So
yeah, shirtless, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was. I mean, it was a bunch of bunch of kind of college age dudes just doing their thing. But yeah, let's just say that was not something that the producers were thrilled about.
Yeah, or the commentators, as it turns out. It was Paul and I trying to figure out our best way to work through that.
So that's our dishonorable mention. But I've got here's some highlights. One I've got for you is the Cheon-mageddon, and I'll have links to some of the ones that you can see. There's GIFs of these, but the Cheon-mageddon was when Paul Cheon was playing in a Grand Prix, and he goes over to pick up a card, and somehow it's just incredible. You have to watch it. He managed to scoop all his opponent's lands and just dump them on the ground.
Every single one of them.
I think what happened was he had shuffled his deck, and his opponent had shuffled their deck, and Paul went to go cut it and put it back to where his opponent was keeping the deck, and somehow dragged such that he scooped every land off the opponent's battlefield and just threw it onto the ground.
Unbelievable.
Another good one we have is this one features Ben Stark and Tom Martell. This is the famous Chipotle Bowl, where so the way coverage tends to work is, the two commentators are on camera at the beginning of the round. It's like the booth view, right? And then once you go down to the round, the commentators are no longer on camera, and it's just the match. And so, the commentators' lunch had gotten there, and so they throw it down to the match, and you see Ben grab the bowl of Chipotle and start moving it towards him. But Tom's really sharp. And this is part of what makes this clip isn't just that Ben tried to eat a bowl of Chipotle on camera. Tom saw that there was picture in picture and was showing the coverage booth live. He saw that they were on air still. And without breaking a stride, while he's still talking, he pokes the thing, shakes his head no, and Ben puts on this sheepish grin. It's the closest Ben will get to shame. He doesn't really feel that particular emotion among others.
Right.
And he pushes the bowl of Chipotle back
off camera,
knowing he got caught. He's just got the biggest grin on his face.
Oh, it's so funny.
And one I got to include, as much as it might pain me, is the bonfire from the World Magic Cup, where it's like one of those like accidental Renaissance paintings where a photo that could be a Renaissance painting, because it's again a short clip. And Kibler's playing the deciding match to see which team, the USA, us, versus Taipei, whether they'll make it to the top 16. And it all hinges on match 3, game 3. Kibler's got lethal out. He's at 1. His opponent draws, flips, and it's bonfire. And he flips it on the table and extends the hand for the GG after doing the like this motion with his two hands, yep, here it is,
It was so brutal. And you were sitting right next to Kibler.
I was sitting literally right next to Kibler. I also had just the ridiculous mustache. Me and Kibler look at each other kind of deadpan, shake our heads, shake the opposing team's hand. But what you can do when you watch this, and I recommend it, is look every time you rewatch it, because it's really short. It's like 30 seconds or less. Mm-hmm. Pick a different character in the scene to watch, because you've got Aaron Forsythe, the director of R&D, kind of shaking his head like, oh, what have we done with this miracle thing? Mm-hmm. You've got like the guys in the background on both sides of the team. There's multiple other people you'd recognize just in this whole moment. And I don't know. That one, I feel like it's really hard to top.
It is. That was one of the, I won't call it one of the great moments, but one of the more memorable ones.
Oh, I thought it was great. Honestly, like I'm in for that sort of stuff. The fact that I had to be a victim of that particular bonfire to make it happen, I'm willing to do that. And there have been some pretty good moments on coverage, and it was fun remembering some of them.